Yo, what's good YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoot, back with the ITL, and we've got our Season 8 post-Week 3 ITL Scott Take, where I'm going to be talking about, like I always do for the Scott Takes, that's a pun on hot takes, by the way. Gotta throw that out there. I'm going to go over the top 3 worst plays of Week 3, and the top 3 hottest sets of Week 3. I don't know. I, I was just thinking there if these are being received well, if you guys enjoy these, if there's some other kind of little videos you would rather see than a ITL Scott Take, if there's something else that you guys would like me to cover, or you guys would like to see my thoughts on, or something like that, let me know in the comment section. If you guys enjoy these, though, let that be known in the comment section as well. Drop a like and all the good stuff. But anyways, we can talk about the top 3 worst plays. We'll go ahead and hop into that and get into the game footage. Alright, so the third ranked worst play of the week comes to a misclick. So what's happened here is Aki has positioned his SERP on a Milotic. The Milotic swaps out to the Metagross. Metagross, they miss each other's attacks, but they put themselves in the position to where, it kind of balanced out. And then the SERP is at +2 special attack, was behind a sub. So Sky brings in his Mega Gallade here, breaks the sub with Drain Punch, and now SERP's going to go for the Leaf Storm. And it gets Drain Punch again, does about 40% to it, but Mega Gallade is in range of SERP at this point. And what's going to happen here is Sky's going to make a misclick, and he's basically going to lose his Zapdos because of it. He hard switches into his Zapdos by accident. He didn't mean to click that, and I know, he didn't mean to, but in my opinion, it's still, like, everybody's playing well in the league, in my opinion, so it's hard to pick out some bad plays. So when I see misclicks or chokes, I'm all over it. So this is going to be one of those. It put the SERP in a position to where it doesn't have to worry about Zapdos. It's going to blow through Donphan right now, and then it could clean up the match. Really, if he wanted to risk it, it could clean up the match. So what he's going to do here is just going to go, basically goes for the Ice Shard. It's not going to, it bounces off, and he didn't want to miss his Leaf Storm, so he goes for the Hidden Power and is able to knock out the Donphan as well. So SERP just took out 3 Mons by itself, and you can kind of credit that to a misclick there as well. So that's going to be deserving of the third ranked worst play of week 3 in my opinion, and we can hop into the next couple now. And again, no disrespect to Sky, and it's not like Aki didn't force a bad play, you know what I'm saying? Sky just misclicked, and it's going to look like a bad play if you didn't know he misclicked. So it's going to be deserving of rank number 3 in my opinion, and we can jump into rank number 2 now. Alright, so the rank number 2 worst play of the week, in my opinion, comes from the Sebi versus Marion game. So what's happened here is the Moltres has been toxic, and this Bulu is not letting it recover up because it keeps going for the Nature's Madness and putting Moltres in a really, really tough position. So what Sebi's going to do here is he's going to pull a hard switch into his Celesteela on the incoming Horn Leech. Probably didn't predict the Celesteela there. Was probably predicting the, something else, but definitely predicting something else to come in. Wasn't going for the Horn Leech on Moltres. Didn't expect the Celesteela, I'm sure. If it was expecting Celesteela, I'm sure the play was to definitely Nature's Madness again. But Sebi's going to click Air Slash here. It's going to do over half to the Bulu, as Bulu goes for the Nature's Madness. And now on the following turn, what's going to happen here is Sebi is going to go for the Flamethrower, knowing that it's going to at least 2-hit KO Bulu, potentially knock it straight out, depending on, his calcs from the Air Slash damage and things like that. I don't know their sets or anything, but I do know that the Celesteela packs Flamethrower, and his best play is to click Flamethrower here, because if the Scizor tries to come in on the Air Slash, it will knock it out, and it will at least 2-hit KO Bulu. It may straight up knock it out as well. So Sebi's going to go for the Flamethrower here, as Marion actually pulls a switch into his Mega Scizor pre-Mega'd. I don't think, if it was Mega Evolved, the Flamethrower damage would be any different, but he's going to lose his Scizor here, and he's going to bring in his Hawlucha and Encore into flamethrower, but this flamethrower is at +1 now, so it's way too strong, and he's going to lose his Scizor and his Hawlucha back to back because of that, the flamethrowers. So I just think, like, it wasn't necessarily like a bad play, terrible play or anything like that. I don't think it would have changed the game had he not did it, because the game was so in favor of Sebi because of matchup. Just matchup alone, I thought this match was in Sebi's favor. It's why I picked him in the pick'ems, things like that. But yeah, he hard switched in a Mega Scizor on a Celesteela. Mega Scizor can't do anything to Celesteela except U-turn out into something else or something like that. And he just lost Scizor and Hawlucha basically for no reason. He could have just lost Bulu, you know what I'm saying? Like, Bulu versus a Celesteela team, Moltres team, Nidoqueen team, Tangrowth team, and potentially like has Fire Blast or Flash Cannon on the Hydreigon, Heavy Slam on the Gigalith, which had already been revealed, I think. Or it's revealed later in the game. Either way, I think Mega Scizor and Hawlucha were way more valuable than Tapu Bulu, and that's why this is going to get the second ranked worst play of the week in my opinion, and we can hop into the number 1 worst play of the week in my opinion now. For the number 1 worst play of week 3 in my opinion was from the Eric versus Carson game. What's happening here is Landorus, or Kangaskhan threw off a Wish and survived the Earth Power on 43% or whatever, and the following turn he's going to click Protect and receive his Wish. Basically gets him back at full. So now he knows he can take an Earth Power and throw off a Wish, take the following Earth Power, and knock out the Landorus, right? So he does just that, and then Carson brings in his Tapu Koko. Mega Kangaskhan gets its Wish back. Here's a couple different things that could happen here too. Depending on the Mega Kangaskhan set, Hitmonlee could potentially revenge kill it, first of all. Second of all, if you don't think Hitmonlee can revenge kill it, the best thing is to go into Koko, set up your terrain, knock out the Mega Kangaskhan with your Z move so that you're guaranteed to knock it out. And now you have the Electric Seed on Hitmonlee, which boosts your defense. And with Hitmonlee's ability Unburden, after the Electric Seed is prompted, it will have a ×2 speed increase. So what's going to happen here is Eric is going to go out to his Alolan Muck, and now Tapu Koko can click Thunderbolt here, and it does just that. So it does 47% and prompts its Papa Berry there, and gets knocked out. And in my opinion, that was the worst play of the week. Reason being was, like I mentioned, Electric Seed boosts your defense. So Hitmonlee's getting a defense boost and a speed boost right here on this turn, and naturally outspeeds Mamoswine anyway. So my thought process when I was watching this battle was, if Koko would have U-turned out, I'm pretty sure it revealed U-turn earlier in the match, if it would U-turn out, it would get a little chip off on the Alolan Muck here, and put it in range of Hitmonlee's close combat. So Hitmonlee would come in, it would get a defense boost, and it would eat up that poison jab that it just landed on the Koko. It would get a speed boost. You could knock it out with close combat here, and with the defense boost, poison jab into Ice Shard would not knock out Hitmonlee, even after the close combat defense drops. So the play was to 100% U-turn out into Hitmonlee, have your defense boosted, take the poison jab, and you're going to see how much this close combat does after a U-turn. So it come in on rocks, it would have taken a U-turn from a Tapu Koko, and it took 70% from Hitmonlee there. So yeah, in my opinion, had you just U-turned out into Carson, had you just U-turned out into Hitmonlee, you would have gotten your defense boost, you would have gotten your speed boost, you would have outpaced even a Scarf Mamoswine if it would have came in. You would have had just enough damage on Alolan Muck to knock it out with a close combat, and you wouldn't have prompted its berry, and it wouldn't be recycling and stuff like that right now and putting itself in a position to win. So yeah, I don't think the matchup was in either of these players' favor too much, such as the Sebi game versus Marin. Like that matchup was completely in Sebi's favor in my opinion. This game was more of a toss-up, and it was going to come down to who played the best, and it turns out that I'm not going to say that Eric played better than Carson the entire match, because this was a really fun match to watch, But when it came down to crunch time, Carson didn't consider everything, and he ends up losing this match 2-0, which is really unfortunate here. And the most unfortunate part about it is I would have been 6 of 6 on my pick'ems. But yeah, that's going to be worthy of the #1 worst play of week 3, in my opinion. And now we can move on to the hot sets and talk about those a little bit. Alright, so for hot sets of the week, they don't necessarily have to work, but they do have to be shown off a little bit. Like, I have to see it in the game. You can't just send me your paste bin or something like that, or your pokey paste or whatever, and say, hey, look at this hot set, make sure it's on the so-and-so hot or Scott Take or whatever. But it doesn't necessarily have to work. The idea has to be there, the concept has to be there, it has to be, viable. And if it does put in the work, that's great. That's even better. But as long as I do see it in the game, that's okay. Just like last week, we saw the Double Dance Lucario versus the Aurora Vale team. It didn't work out, but the concept was there. It could have been amazing. Anyway, it's actually right here where this happens. The Quillfish hard switch, or Gypsy hard switches his Quillfish out and brings in his Magearna, knowing that this Crobat's going to have to roost up and then defog. So Magearna takes this opportunity to shift gear up. So what Alpha's going to do, he's going to pull a hard switch into Mega Lopunny here, where, a fairy type move versus Crobat was very unlikely, and the Mega Lopunny could 100% live, probably a Thunderbolt and things like that. But Magearna actually goes for the Calm Mind. So Mega Lopunny is just going to throw off a Healing Wish, and after a shift gear, Mega Lopunny still outspeeds. This Mega Lopunny was EV'd to outpace a shift gear Magearna and a Tyranitar. I'm not sure if it was Jolly or Adamant. Dragon Dance Tyranitar. So that speed creep investment coming through in the clutch there, and this Healing Wish is going to be the rank number 3 hot set, in my opinion, because he's going to be able to bring in his weakened Bronzong all the way back to full and force out the Magearna and stops the early sweep, stops the the turn 20 sweep, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to be worthy of number 3, in my opinion. And now we can go ahead and hop into the next 2. So at the number 2 hot set of week number 3, we have Sebi versus Marin here. So Sebi hard switches into his Tangrowth on the Nature's Madness, and then he's going to double out into his Moltres. So he's going to do just that, as Marin actually pulls a switch into his Mega Scizor. So this gives Sebi a clear advantage here. He's got the Moltres in, and he's going to reveal his set now. As the Licky Licky comes in, it's going to be trapped in the Fire Spin. So my man Sebi here brought the Moltres with Fire Spin and Roost, and I believe it has Toxic as well. Unfortunately, it gets Toxic too, or maybe Moltres didn't even have Toxic. I can understand though, because he did have Toxic Spikes on Nidoqueen, and later in the game, if he gets those up again, the Drapeon's gone, so that they will be here to stay unless Mega Scizor has Defog, which I don't think it does in this matchup specifically. So my boy here's got the Fire Spin Moltres to trap, first of all, to trap everything, and then he's also the Z move. So yeah, very cool set there. I don't think Grassy Terrain boosts grass type moves that are used for mons not on the ground though, so that wasn't a boosted Bloom Doom or anything like that. Very cool set from Sebi though, to see the Moltres with Fire Spin, Flamethrower, and I guess that was what, Solar Beam and Roost. So yeah, very, very cool set, really cool to see. And it's not working. He did get poisoned, and the Licky Licky is kind of not gone yet. But now it is. So, yeah, that worked perfectly. He was able to trap it and eliminate the Licky Licky. And kudos to that. So, that's going to be worthy of number 2, in my opinion. And now we can get into the number 1 hot set of the week. Alright, so finally, we've got the number 1 hot set of the week in the game where Helmy takes on Novahawk. Pretty cool sets from both sides here. We've seen, I believe we've seen Zoroark disguised as Venusaur. Watched it U-turn out. We saw Belly Drum Zardex run through the Alamomola, and Helmy's got the Belly Drum, sub Belly Drum, Salic Berry Como-O in the back. But in this match, what really set everything apart was this Venusaur coming in on the Moonblast, and then Tapu Fini here staying in versus the Mega Venusaur to soak it. And I understand the concept, I understand the idea behind this, it's genius, really. It removes the grass and the fairy type, or excuse me, the grass and the poison typing, so that no move that Tapu Fini is hit with is super effective at this point. I mean, it's super effective, but it's not same type attack bonus. And now the Tapu Fini can start to freely throw off Moonblast to, weaken it. So the idea was there. He could have been toxic as well. I could understand that. I've ran that before, not on Fini, but on Alamomola versus a Mega Venusaur in itself. And that was going to be worthy of the #1 hot set of the week, in my opinion. Though it didn't do as much as it could, it was still there. It forced out the Venusaur into the Zoroark. And yeah, it's gonna be the top 3 plays in my opinion. So let's go ahead and get back to the homepage. All right, so just to recap on everything for the ITL post week 3 Scott Take, we had top 3 worst plays and the top 3 hot sets. Top 3 worst plays were the ranked #3 worst play. What was the worst plays? We had Marin Varen, Carson's Choke, Marin Varen. What was that? Oh, Sky's Mystical. Alright, so just to recap on everything, for the ITL post week 3 Scott Take, we had the top 3 worst plays and the top 3 hot sets, where our top 3 worst plays, coming in order at #3, was Sky's Misclick, where he went into his Zapdos and basically lost a half of his team to Serp. In the second worst play of the week, we had Marin Varen losing his Mega Scizor and his Howlucha to Celesteela, when he could have definitely just lost his Bulu and kept those other 2 mons, which could have, been very, very helpful for him. Just hard switching a Mega Scizor on a Celesteela, and it wasn't going to do much to Celesteela, so why even bring it in? So that was the #2 worst play of the week, and the #1 worst play of the week was Carson's Choke at the end, where he tried to attack the Alolan Muck, prompted its berry, and just put it in a position to where the Muck could 1v1 Tapu Koko and Hitmonlee, which is kind of unfortunate because I did pick Carson to win that game, and I hated to see the choke like that. And then the top 3 hot sets of the week, at #3, we had Alpha's Mega Lopunny, speed creeping a Shift Gear Magearna and a Dragon Dance Tyranitar, able to get a Healing Wish off into Bronzong to stop an early Magearna sweep. And the second hot set of the week was from my boy Sebi. Had his Moltres with Fire Spin, Flamethrower, Bloom Doom, and Roost, and was able to effectively trap and eliminate the Licky Licky. And then the #1 hot set of the week was the Soak Tapu Fini versus the Mega Venusaur squad. Able to soak the Mega Venusaur, turn it into a water type, and prevent, same type attack, bonus, super effective moves hitting the Tapu Fini, and forced it out, was able to eliminate the Zoroark as well, and then force back in the Mega Venusaur before again soaking it into a water type. So yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you guys thought. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.